I wouldn't expect you to anyway.
No.
We have a whole week of.
Oh, it does, it should know.
Meeting to order. Okay, so, first thing is Sue is stuck in an airport. She is headed back this way, but she's not gonna make it for this. So we need a volunteer to do the minute. She's always very popular. Very popular.
Somebody raised their hand. I'll do it again. I've got a doctor's appointment in Hanover that I might have to, if I get a phone call, I might have to run, but other than that, I'll go, I'll do it as long as I can.
All right.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Bernie. So first up, we'll get to visitors in 1 second. First up is just the approval of the meeting minutes from last month. So you sent those out. Any comments or? So moved. Okay. Accepted. All in favor? Okay, so next item up, and this is pretty singularly focused meeting today, but visitors communication. Steve, could you introduce yourself, please?
Steve DeVries, project manager for Rear Construction.
Okay, this is the committee. Why don't we take a real quick second to introduce ourselves? Why don't you start?
I am Bernie Allen. Yep. Thank you.
I'm Rick Denty. Arthur Dozero.
Paula Dolan.
Fairly Atwood.
Jeff Bergeron.
Fred Gagne.
Rick William.
So we're what's called Buildings and Facilities Committee. One of the things we talk about, we meet just once a month and we review particularly this facility. So we've been kind of working on this project and aware of this project for quite a long time. Sue, you kind of got the ball rolling with a senior project at Norwich to kind of look at the building. So we're interested in the facilities upgrade. We're very excited that it's somewhat moving. We're wish it was moving a little faster and so forth. But we'd like to just kind of talk to you and figure out where we're at and how we're looking and what's the next kind of steps forward.
Yeah, so I mean,
Which one am I pull up?
let's do the estimate. Here's this one, that's right. So we've got a little bit of a kind of a scope matrix with some estimates put to it right now for dollar figures, because obviously there's limit on the grant money for each of the categories. To try to get everything on one page. So MERP, you've got the auditorium, City Hall, Opera House items, and then CDS, the auditorium. So right now where we're at is we have drawings from the team are due this Friday. I'm guessing they're gonna, dribble into early next week probably before we can get a package together to submit to Tom. That will then get it to USDA for their review and approval.
Yep.
So we're getting close on that piece. So that's a good big step. And obviously, these numbers, we keep fine tuning them every day. With Tyler coming back here, hopefully in a day or two, we'll be able to update these a little more. Specifically, I know like the ADA restroom upgrades, that's going to increase a little bit because there's no way to get the sanitation lines from the outside what that is.
From the east side
To the stair side, yeah. So there's a cost there because there's like some sump pumps and things that are, things involved. So we've got all these costs, trying to figure out what the shopping list really is, what we can and can't do with the money available. That's why there's other funding items, and if it's not possible, then it gets pushed into the scopes not proceeding kind of area. So we're trying to figure out how to split that up and how we can move forward with things. We can go through that in detail, or I don't know how many people have had a chance to see this yet.
This was in the packet I sent last month.
Yep.
But we've done some updates to it.
Yeah.
So obviously, there's the wish list is bigger than the budget.
Yes.
So what would the priorities be for the facilities? This question for
Everything we have listed that we're doing now
Yep.
is written out in the grants that we received.
Yep.
So we have to do at least something with all of those.
Yeah.
And I know we had the locker rooms was our big wish list item.
Right.
And as I said, from day one, that was gonna be a kind of a stretch to get it in there. When the numbers came in, it was a pretty easy number to take out. We're $1 million over budget. That was 700,000. And so we take that out with some from the Civic Center Improvement Fund, let us complete everything else. So we're giving up one to complete everything else. You see the electrical upgrades are a big one, big number up there.
Mhm.
But we need to do that because right now we have lights being held on with pieces of tape to keep the switch on.
Right, yeah, so obviously any project like this, you gotta prioritize what it was. Obviously at the city council meeting last week, they announced that, the locker rooms were out. And I can't remember what you're taking from the Civic Center Fund to finalize this. The locker room's out, it's definitely a disappointment. I understand finances, but for this committee, I'll speak for myself, that was really hoping to get that done. So that's a little bit painful, but that's not gonna happen. Has the city looked at any other funding sources to get that kind of money to move forward, or that not happened?
I've kind of put that off make that a separate project. Don't think we're gonna get that in this project with our timelines and.
Right.
But we have a number to aim for now.
And granted, these are all estimates from our estimating department.
Right.
That some of it's actually from our MEP folks, their design build contract. But obviously a lot of this stuff will get actual bids put to some of the other work, so that it could change. Usually we're pretty good about.
Right, and you're a construction manager on this one, so the
Yes.
costs are not determined yet. My experience with construction is that those costs will be higher than typically estimated.
I mean, based on my short time at Rearc, I would say that our estimating folks do a really good job of, they nail that down pretty good. You're our client, we don't want to, you're just to make money. I mean, it's a long-term relationship for sure, so understood.
Jim?
Several months ago, when this was announced to everyone around the table, we were told that we couldn't hold any functions in the auditorium until from the 1st of April until the latter part of November. It's June 10th and nothing, I believe, nothing has been done. Does that mean that if we go from the 1st of April till the 10th of June, will those days now go into November and early December?
No.
You still think, just like you were asking months ago, it's got to be done for the craft show?
I blocked off that, April to November. Just to make sure we didn't have to come in and say, oh, we're starting now. I have to cancel your event, Jim, that's in July. I do not want to have to kick anybody out
That's
or delay the projects.
well, we have a big one starting on, 7 and 8 of January, or 8 or 9, which is obviously way after the craft show. Guys will be in Florida by then, I hope, or somewhere else.
I'll be here. I'll be in Vermont. Our goal is, so nothing, construction hasn't started yet. Yes, that's true. The whole navigating the design process and then getting things in a good shape to give to USDA for their review and approval is definitely taking longer than we thought. We have a path that we're trying to aim for to make sure that those events can happen starting in November. The boiler work is the biggest one I think we've all been focusing on. Kind of the 611,000 change dollar figure there. We have a good path forward on that right now, except that we can't even put a deposit on until USDA approves everything. That's the longest lead item of all the equipment that would be going into the work. So that's what our focus is, because that is driving the schedule. A lot of these other scope items, we don't have that kind of lead time. As soon as we get USDA to approve it, or if it's MERP related, it will be a quicker approval process. I think a large majority of these items could be done before the November deadline. some things can go past that, yes. But we do it in a way that doesn't affect the events or seem kind of behind the scenes, or hey, maybe the new bathrooms aren't open yet, but all the existing ones are still there, those kinds of things. The biggest piece we're looking at right now is if the boiler work is not done by the craft show, whenever that is, that we may have to look into temporary heating until the boilers are up and running. That's what we're currently looking at right now.
Yeah, so you feel good about being operable in this facility, not necessarily the project being completed.
I'm not operating any other way other than that, yes.
We could add that, I do try to sell the properties and so get things that can, I get asked that 3 times a week. How come and when, basically.
Yeah, we would have loved to have gotten things started already as well. Management's very aware and they're asking the same questions, yep. You know, getting the lights done, a lot of the major things that would affect a lot of the events here should be done, yes.
It's a very tight schedule, and we've been concerned for a while, and my experience with construction, you know, we have an AOT building that was supposed to be done now, and they're just starting it. So it's you know, I'm hesitant or nervous about, I don't know, I'm trying to insult you, but
Oh.
very nervous about the schedule being pushed out and being able to be operable in November.
It's my focus, and I'm not nervous, that's maybe the wrong word, but I am very aware of it and trying to figure out ways to navigate that, definitely, that's definitely my focus.
Yep.
You just mentioned, and I don't know if I caught it right, heat pumps or temporary heat,
Yes,
and we're putting in heat pumps, am I correct?
yes.
Will the heat pumps be able to heat the building? I mean, I put one in my house and last winter I heated them.
Yeah,
Where
so
they were, I heated all winter with those and then I turned my propane heat on. Will this facility be able to do that, at least on the main floor or?
Depending on the outside air temperature.
Right,
If we get a warm fall,
yeah,
probably,
okay,
but we know November. It can possibly get seriously cold.
yeah, well, I mean, and
Yeah,
in
it's
my
cold.
house, it got seriously cold. last
Right,
winter.
but the
Yeah.
heat pumps are more for that shoulder season,
Okay,
Yeah.
not for. You know, if it's,
are they gonna be downstairs in the basement too?
we're gonna have one in the exhibition hall. That's what we're now labeling the room in the basement,
Yeah,
the exhibition hall.
okay,
There's gonna be one in there, and then we're having 2 in. Pumping into the gym.
One in each club room, section.
club room,
Those are the tournament office and the old,
okay. And what about the main floor, I guess?
they come through ductwork.
Okay,
It dumps
Send
into
it
the
up
gym.
high through the structural members and, yeah.
so there's heat pumps running in the basement on the main area.
Right.
Yeah.
And in the main floor, main area, and then in some of the offices.
Right.
Okay,
They'll be able to provide some cooling, but now like a full air conditioned space, definitely helping the really hot summer months.
so it won't be full enough air conditioning in the summer to really cool the place?
It'll be noticeably cooler.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're not gonna be able to set it at
62.
65, keep the building at 65 on with, 1,000 people.
Okay, no,
But when it's 90 degrees out, I'm expecting us to be able to keep it 80-ish. So it'll be noticeably cooler.
Okay.
And more comfortable, but it's not gonna be what you would call air conditioned.
okay.
And that's separate from the boilers.
And then my second question is the locker rooms that. When I came on this committee a long, long time ago, that was one of my priorities, and when we did the thing with Norwich, it was definitely what started the Norwich thing. Was the locker rooms, and I understand, like you're saying, that that just isn't gonna happen right now. But I think what you were leaning towards was, is somebody working on a potential grant, I would assume in the recreation area. I mean, I would think it would be a good project to get money for a recreation area with all that goes on as far as sports teams and athletics in the facility, having this, 2 locker rooms has been detrimental to the building since day one, I think. So that if somebody is looking at a grant, and I know you're taking quite a bit of money, out of the fund that we have, but there's still gonna be some left. most of these grants require a local match of some sort or something, so, you know, we would have some money available to do that. And thanks to Jim here, and hopefully he keeps bringing in money like he has been, there will be more. So, I mean, is there anybody in the city that can be focused on a grant for the locker rooms? That's presently working on it or going to be before too long?
We don't have anybody assigned to that, and we don't have anyone specifically that goes searching for grants.
Yeah.
So I can just tell you from what I have on my plate, I don't have a whole lot of time to search for grants.
Yeah.
I can tell you, Michelle, her plate is incredibly full too, with getting all these other programs back up and running.
Yeah,
So currently, we don't have anybody on staff that's actively looking for grants.
would it be possible to employ an outside person to look for a grant using some of our fee money or whatever to work on that? I mean,
Is there enough time to go through that grant process to?
well, I'm not sure we can get the process done, you know, as part of this project, but I'm just thinking whether it's a year now or 6 months or 6 years from now, hopefully not 6 years or whatever, but if we don't start now, it'll be 16 years or whatever before we can. We're fortunate that we now have, we're gonna have drawings of how it's gonna be done. We're gonna have an estimate of the cost. And those are generally two big things when you're looking for a grant, from what I've heard, you know, type of thing. And with any luck at all, we have some fee money to, you know, match a grant or be part of a grant or something like that. But if nobody's working on it, it's never gonna happen. So.
And I can tell you, there's not a position in the budget.
Okay, no, I understand that then, okay, but would it be possible to hire an outside person to work on a grant for the city for this,
Where's the money gonna come?
the fees? That's
From the
my
city.
suggestion, that's my suggestion. I don't have another
I can
one.
ask about it, but we've already, you know, cutting like S. Taylor's position, state's gonna fund her position. Which she did. It's on the homelessness.
That's it. But all I'm saying is that we do have fee money hopefully left over, and I know it's your kitty in case, you know, something isn't quite right in the estimates and so on and so forth, but and hopefully fee money keeps coming in. But if we don't find some way for somebody to work on a grant, it's gonna be kicked down the road for forever again. And I just think that money is there. I can't think of better use for it than if we have to pay somebody. And I have no idea what it might cost to work on a grant specifically for the locker rooms.
Preaching to the choir. Remember how many years have we been begging for that?
Yeah, oh, yeah, no, I mean, and I think it's a perfect application for a recreation grant with all that goes on as far as athletics in there, and only having the 2 locker rooms. All of this, all the volunteers that we have that run some of these programs or whatever, several of them around this table. I mean, I just, it's a suggestion that we ask somebody somehow that why can't we take a few bucks and hire somebody to work on a grant for us?
I wouldn't disagree with that. I think that would be up to the city to work on a little bit.
Or is there a way to raise money from the citizens?
I mean, any place you get money is fine. But my point is that we do have some money
Yeah,
sitting in our fee structure.
Right.
And
For now.
for now, yeah, for now,
Let's see what happens.
yeah. When I took this job 9 years ago, I was told that the monies that comes from the revenue from the dashes and the banners was gonna stay on the hill. You know, we do approximately between $60,000 and $70,000 a year. Let's stay on the soft side of that, 60 times 9. Yeah. That's $500,000. Where, and I haven't seen $500,000 in 9 years. I haven't seen it, and I don't know anything about construction. But where the hell is that? Where is that money and what has it done if it were to stay up on the hill?
Yeah, I mean, the fund value, I think it's 200 plus right now, so there's some there, but, we haven't spent a couple 100,000 either. So,
So they go to other places than,
I couldn't answer that, I don't know.
Well, I don't think you had, you weren't making that much when you first added. It took a few years for us to build that out, but. I think we had spent some, but yeah.
I don't recall it going in much anywhere else. There may have been one or once or maybe
I
twice.
don't think it's been used. for
Yeah,
other-
I think it's been spent up here too. I might be wrong.
We just used it on lights and stuff there and just over here.
Yeah.
So what kind of boiler are we putting this back in the steam? We're keeping the steam heaters and everything?
Yeah, they're gonna steam boilers, with dual fuel burners. So they'll burn oil, but they'll also be set up to change over to propane. When the outside tank that's in the road finally gives up the ghost, we'll be able to transfer over to propane.
And you're putting 2 boilers down there.
Yes.
We're gonna put 2
So
boilers.
you got 2 boilers, you got a heat pump, no additional HVAC or not?
We've got the 2 heat pumps that are going up in the club rooms and the one in the basement.
Yeah.
That'll do some ventilation
Plus
and,
boilers.
it'll bring some,
Right,
Air
so the heat
circulation.
pumps will cool it a little bit, but there's no more AC going in than that.
Correct.
at this time, no. This budget
Yeah,
constraints.
that was one of the things we've talked about. But one of the things that got removed.
Do we know that these new, heating system is going to be able to not burn half of what the oil is that we burned, today? Are they gonna be that much more, are they gonna be a lot more efficient, I guess is what I'm asking.
Heat pumps are more efficient than boilers. Especially these the furnaces we have now. Do I know the percentage that we're gonna save? I don't.
I can say that the mechanical engineer company that we're using, I don't know the percentages either, but they're surprised how little you're actually using right now with the current boilers because the building holds heat, the temperature so well.
Yeah.
And I would assume, I hope technology's gotten a lot better and when it was installed, it'd be way more efficient, but I do not have the numbers. But we can try to get that info.
So significant wouldn't be a good word either, or, okay.
I wouldn't know enough
Okay,
to say, yeah.
better is the best we can get out of it. Okay, all right, good, thanks. Yeah.
Those were here when so that's over.
I think I looked through them this 2000.
Those,
I think they're 2000.
could be, I started in 2007, they were already here. So.
Our testing guy for the asbestos, he said he saw something out of 2004. I don't know if that's the right date.
That sounds about right.
Sounds about right.
They look a lot older, but
Good.
Roughly the same vintage as city halls.
City halls are newer.
City halls are newer?
Yeah, we had one die, we were running on one and that one blew up, so then we had to put 2 in at the same time down there, but.
Yeah.
That was probably 2009, 10.
You mentioned asbestos has there been much remediation required? I mean, did you find a lot of asbestos or lead or?
everything's been tested.
Yeah.
We don't have results back yet. I don't think we're having any lead issues, but I think they're showing up today.
They were here yesterday,
Yeah,
taking
okay.
samples for lead.
Yeah.
They were here last week doing the sampling for the asbestos.
A couple weeks ago, this one, yeah.
Yeah.
I talked to Todd yesterday, the guy that was doing it. Results should be back any day now. He already knows what's going to be positive or not, because he just knows.
Sure.
He's pretty sure the boilers and all the rope in between it, which everyone thought might be positive, that's probably gonna be negative because they're newer than we thought. There's plenty of piping insulation down there that we know will be positive. I don't know the ramifications of that yet. Some of it we don't have to touch if we're not doing work in certain areas. But that's not currently reflected. I've got the testing in there, but not the actual abatement. I don't think it's gonna be a ton, and I don't know what a ton would be anyway. I mean, I would think in the
You'll find the tiles and the landings in the front stairwell.
Well,
yeah.
not, which we're not touching, so,
Yeah.
yeah, yes.
And I think that's about it.
The tiles in the stairwell and on the balcony
Yeah.
level, the tiles and the adhesive both have asbestos in them.
But we don't have to touch any of that,
But we're not
so
touching that.
it's mostly, there's a couple pretty obvious pipe insulation from some steam pipe, so.
So if you don't touch it, you don't have to deal with it, you don't have to. bring it.
There's a couple spots where we need to abate it because it's kind of falling apart and we're doing work right around it. But yes, if it's something we can get away with not doing.
Tiles, you're referring to floor tile,
Yes.
floor tiles, okay. Thank you.
Yeah, that's not, that would be that would not be good. That would be a big hidden cost if there's a lot of that, so. Any other things that you know that we're gonna have to do that is not in your budget yet?
We do have that project manager
Yes,
that we're gonna be required to do. I haven't started that search because I didn't know the time schedule.
Right.
Now we know a time schedule, that's my next thing is to get that project manager, because as USDA told us they have anywhere from the time we submit it, it would be 2 weeks to 30 days before we get approval from them. We
Right.
built that into our, we're
Yeah.
planning on 30.
Yeah, we're gonna plan on 30. We were hoping that Barry could have been approved to do the deposit for the
Yeah.
boilers to get that clock started. USDA. It's a good thing
gave
they
us a
said no.
clear answer.
It gives a clearance
No.
that no, because most of the time they're wishy-washy and just throw some code at us, but that was good to know, because we know the direction, but.
so you're still getting drawings, so you get drawings, you said in next week.
Early next week, yeah, I'm hoping by the end of next week, they're in USDA's hands.
Yeah, so those are VRHS drawings,
They're what?
they're VRHS drawings.
But yes, I'm sure, yeah, Freeman from Freeman's the architect, we've got New England Air for the mechanical, and Norway and Sons for the electrical.
Yeah, yes, so you gotta get those drawings, then you gotta go to the FDA and get their approval in 30 days. You gotta find a project manager, get him up to speed. Then hopefully start construction off in late July.
Mid-July is,
Yeah, because once they approve the package, then we're allowed to go out to bid, which is, I don't know, maybe pull a schedule up, like, couldn't hurt. And we're trying to navigate how we put this out to bid with certain scopes, So the pieces that I think are the important ones are down the bottom under the construction section, there's that 12-week lead time, the long gray arrow there, that's for the boiler. That's really driving the bulk of the schedule. There's other work, we've got construction down at the very bottom, the longest green bar there. That's a lot of other scope items. The goal is always going to be to get out of the main level first, depending on where some of the events are, or get out of the exhibition space, so events can happen. And if we're doing more things in the background, then as long as we're not affecting those events.
Is there any occupancy issues? That you won't be able to, have events here if certain things don't get done?
we'll make, I don't think so, as long as we have most of the big drilling and stuff, we could probably, if the new bathrooms aren't done, we can contain them.
Yeah, easily, yeah. I'm thinking things like the heat pumps that are up in the club rooms.
Yeah.
Get the ductwork done out on the gym floor, get it into those rooms. They could be working in those rooms for months and nobody even know those
Yeah.
kinds. That's kind of how I'm looking at some of those items.
Okay.
Yeah, replacing all the fixtures in the existing bathrooms, do that first. So we're out of the existing bathrooms if the new ones aren't done.
So if the heat pumps were operational by the end of November, what's the event that's happening,
We have the craft fair.
crash show? The crash show, could they accommodate the crash show if the boilers weren't done as far as enough heat to run the
Again,
building? Huh?
It'll depend on the weather, and we're working on
Well, Hopefully it's not,
plan B, and
hopefully it's not 20 below.
Yeah.
In November.
we're working on plan B, which is external temporary heat sources. And even we're looking at plan C of doing the boilers next spring. Depending when they come in, and the funding will be available next spring. congressional grant.
Wasn't there like a year?
They,
Way out.
they'd like to have it done by September of next year.
Yeah.
But we have until September of 29. And then we could get a year extension after that. But with approval.
Don't even think like that.
Yeah, we don't want to go that long either.
Yes.
So,
Prices will only go up, so the quicker we can do this for you guys, better for everybody.
Prices are going
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
It's outrageous.
were you talking about the heat? Or was it read yesterday, the meeting, or the temporary boilers or temporary heat?
Temporary heat,
Yeah.
duck it in, maybe come through the.
Duck it in, it was only like 5.
I was told they've seen it for like $4,000 for each unit for an entire season, so let's say we need 2 units, I don't know how many, 2 or 3
He
units.
was
it's not a
just talking
ton.
2 units, one for the gym and one for the basement. Just ducks in, they're just giant salamander heaters, basically.
Duck it
Duck
in,
the warm air
we
into
can
the
tie it
building.
into existing propane.
That's what they used to do at the BOR for the farm show.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, basically it's very big heaters and
Yeah.
like big pipe going in and.
yeah, so it'd be similar to that. Till the boilers are up and running, if we kick into this, November or December.
Yeah.
The building's got heat. Along with the heat pumps, so hopefully the
Yeah.
heat pumps. Get us, if it's too cold to have an event. We'll have this other option, option B and C and.
If you schedule it, you're gonna have it. Can't put it off for a week or whatever or something.
Right.
But I mean, and it sounds to me like it's doable one way or the other for the end of November for the first event.
Yeah, it'll be up and running.
One way or the other.
The craft show was always the hard stop.
Yeah.
If we could have got the 1st of December, 1st of November. Is the goal.
Yep.
Get a little squish time, as everyone knows, they always makes it comfortable.
Yeah, I'm just a little uncomfortable just because of
That's
the
how
change
they
in
start.
projects like
Yeah.
take forever.
And then,
You're still at the drawing stage and you have permits up there. I don't know what kind of permitting. you need.
Not worried about any of the permitting, I'm still, the biggest piece is the USDA review. I think that's still the biggest, we get past that, I think we're in a much better shape to really have some finite answers and approvals and know.
I think we
Better
can,
marching orders stuff.
I think we can push some. Permitting through, if it's a city permit, I think we got a pretty good
Yeah,
in on that.
yeah. Speaking of the city, just another question on that, our city managers leaving that Game of Points. Month from now. How's that impacting this project?
Other than someone to sign off on. The final invoices and contract,
Yeah,
well, that would be Christine, whatever.
right now, yeah. Everything. Anything over 25, we have to go to council anyways.
Yeah.
So we would go to city council on that, but. Not,
see,
he doesn't have a lot of hands-on.
project. So council will have to,
It would be the
Represent
council, but
everything.
like I said, Christina, the finance lady,
yeah,
she'll be signing off on all that stuff anyway, regardless. You'd be all right there.
Bernie?
As far as the project manager, where this project goes or anything goes, is Steve McKenzie now done at Northfield?
Yes.
He'd be my first choice, I can tell you that, as far as
Who knows,
construction.
he could be temporary city manager for the city.
Well, I agree, but,
That, that could always happen.
he'd be where I'd be,
Get him up here.
where I'd be going.
You could be city manager.
No, I can't.
Yeah, you
know
can.
that?
You know the ins and outs.
I'm just saying,
Jeff
He's
retired
exactly-
first.
Volunteer?
Done that.
yeah,
Steve would be an excellent person,
Yeah.
project
Yeah.
manager. I don't think, it's obviously not a full-time position, it's a
Right.
project, so. And
Which
that's,
is, full-time on site every day. Is required by USDA. It's just, you can't come and go, it's not a part-time gig, it's a full-time gig.
That's interesting.
Yeah. That was their requirement going with the design build. Option, is that we had to have that third party
Full time.
clerk of the works.
Okay. That would be a significant item in itself and get someone to do that. Okay, so you're feeling pretty good about the project at this point. It's, you know,
As good as we can.
yeah,
We've done everything we can do.
yeah,
And we're, like I said, we're working on plans B and C and
yeah,
it's like every other government thing, hurry up and wait. So we're hoping that
yes,
we're gonna seriously push to have it off to USDA next week, right, Steve?
Yep.
Yeah. And
Drawings Friday.
then, yep. And then we should have, hopefully 2 to 6 weeks, we'll have approval. And the minute we get approval, dust is gonna start flying.
yeah. Yeah, they need to get quotes, contractors.
Yeah, we can't go out to bid for anything until we get that approval.
Okay. Yeah, you got some work in front of you.
Yeah, I know. Oh, where? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But we got a team on it. We've got multiple people in our office. We have a superintendent already lined up, trying to get him out here.
Yeah. Who's the super on the project?
Cody Rowe.
Steve, bro.
So everyone said this, and they say his name, yeah.
Yeah, and it's a family connection there,
Yep.
so. The two boys work there. Okay, does anyone got anything else on the project? We're looking forward to getting it moving. You know, we're obviously greatly disappointed that the offerings look like those won't happen at this point. But all the other things are really necessary to build it.
Everything. You know, I'm disappointed on it, but we're giving up one thing to complete everything else.
Right.
So it's either half-ass everything.
We kind of knew this was coming down the road a little bit, because when this first came through, there's going to be a matching funds. Matching funds had gone through. We have a much bigger net set right now.
Yes.
To work with. They waived that requirement. Just because the floods and everything drained the cities. Ability to get money. So we knew that there was a big chunk of money that was being taken out, and therefore the scope. Yes, affected.
Also. Which is City Hall work.
Yep.
Is looking. Very well. Hey, Steve?
Yeah, trying to, we've got a plan that we think we're gonna do for the insulation. Roof insulation, and still include a lot of the exterior window and door replacements, and then some lighting upgrades and possibly the thermostats. Yeah, a lot of that stuff I think we can handle.
So wasn't there an issue with the windows?
If
you could or could not, is that championship?
they're gonna do insert replacements, like replacing the sashes.
Yeah.
So we're not disturbing the.
Right. So the exterior frame and
That's,
historical value.
yeah,
Under that bag, I swear.
Yeah.
Things were rotted, the silver and stuff on that were rotted
yeah, some
years
of them,
ago.
it's, I think they're probably original windows,
Oh, yeah.
so that's, they're almost us.
10 years ago, yeah. The sills were all rotted.
Just saw you put down that heavy paint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of Bondo.
So even if they're rotted, you can't replace them.
That's what they're saying. You can't replace them, the sills and stuff like that. if they're-
Oh, you can usually do repairs. They don't like you taking out that historic window and putting a modern window in there, they want the historical look.
But you can put the same type of piece of wood in, matches whatever.
Right,
you know.
but they prefer the casings and all that stuff for original.
Yeah.
So
As long
much
as you-
easier to pull the sashes out, put sash liners in and put new sashes in
Right,
than it is to replace the whole casing. And
but if you got a rotten piece of wood. and
if you got a
casing,
rotten piece of wood, it's a rotten piece of wood and you can fix it.
Yeah, you just put a new piece in that matches
Yeah,
however, whatever it is, it's.
historical preservation is not opposed to fixing rot, right?
So could they be clad on the outside or they have to be wood on the outside too?
It's got, most of the time it has to match what was there. If there's wood on the outside, it should be wood on the outside.
Yeah.
Plastic wood.
Plastic.
But we've replaced a lot of windows down Mount Player as far as this historical thing goes in my time, and we've been able to get away from wood a lot of times, as long as the look is correct and
Right.
the sizes are correct and like that, so. It might not be an issue, but it still could.
Blanchard Block, they had that problem because they got a bunch of historical money. So they bought it, they actually were able to put all clad, put all new right in. They, as long as everything looks the same, they don't necessarily promote it, but you're just fighting the battle to get it, but.
Is there anything at City Hall that you were hoping to do that you're not able to do?
The attic insulation up in the roof.
Yeah.
When they did the renovations to the Opera House, they put some reinforced beams in there over that whole Opera House section. We were hoping that you'd be able to get in there and put a heavy coat of spray foam.
Right.
But the money's not there to do a heavy coat of spray foam. Right now, we're gonna seal up the junction between the brick walls and the roof. That's where the most air leaks are coming from. And then we're able to put some spray foam in that reinforced area. But there'll be another section that they didn't do any upgrades to, that we're not gonna be able to do that into the roof because it needs the snow load to melt off.
Yep. Yep.
But we're gonna be able to get some. And if we seal up the edges where most of the heat loss is. Not, non-functional heat loss. If it goes up, it melts the snow load.
Yeah. Is the City Hall, are the two projects being worked at the same time or?
Yeah, we joined them.
Or-
We merged them together to get the most bang for the buck.
Right, and the work will be going on in both projects. You'll have-
We can, like I said, once we get this one off to USDA, then we can really start
Work on that.
on that one, because that funding source is, we've got some money from them already
Yeah.
to get started,
Yep.
and it's an easier. So we can start down there. We'll have to work with the Opera House.
Yep.
Because we're working on both the flag at, above the stage.
Yep.
We'll have to work between their
They got shows going on.
their shows and their camps and rehearsals.
Yeah. Yep, excellent.
So we're working with them now to get their schedule to find openings.
Yep, yeah, excellent. All right, we got anything else? Okay. Thank you for coming to our meeting, G. That's first one. Happy to hear about the project. We're definitely looking forward to getting that rolling.
Same.
Yeah, I know.
Will you be back again next month?
You need me here.
Get an update?
A couple months. I don't think we're gonna have anything going in a month.
Let's be positive.
Yes, I'm positive there won't.
Push
be
it
any.
forward.
Hold USDA.
Okay, excellent. So. Is everything you've done? Next item up was Odd-Tron upgrade project. I don't think there's anything else I really need to discuss on that one. Marketing report, Jim?
Nice seeing you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Appreciate your comment.
For the last month and a half,
basically, I've been playing catch up with all the sponsors. In that I was away, as you may remember, certainly for 3 months over the last 10 or 11. Couple of months in rehab and hospital, and then March down in Florida. I'm almost done with that. To date, we have lost 3 sponsors, all 3 of which are banners in the BOR. But I see those as being replaceable by the end of the summer, and no worries. After this, I'm meeting with Chris Ford over in the auditorium. We're doing a couple little things over there that involves some rearranging of banners there. And one, it's a insignificant piece, but it could also bring in somewhere between $1,500 and $2,000 more a year. Up on the scoreboards at each end, there are literally total of 2 signs in each, this big. One advertises Mountain Dew, the other advertises Pepsi. They haven't been in the buildings here for 4, 5, 6 years. So we're going to replace those, and I'm thinking that maybe Dunkin' Donuts might look good up. You know, it's subliminal advertising. Every time the score changes, people are going to look up at that clock. That's how I'm going to present it to the next sponsor.
How much you getting for those?
I'm looking at trying to do something like 500 a square. That's $2,000. And that again is just free money. Maybe Dunkin' Donuts, maybe Domino's, we'll figure it out as we get closer to that.
I assume that Pepsi and whatever were there because they provided the scoreboards back in the day,
I don't know.
no?
No, they were supported. You guys brought them in because they had all the machines in the BOR and in the auditorium selling their stuff, right? Yeah.
But it didn't have anything to do with the
They
cost
didn't-
of
they
replacing scoreboards.
Purchase the scoreboards?
It did, it had it. So I can't remember how they deducted something out, we deducted something out of their payments or whatever it was, but. They paid for they put the scoreboards up, they put the little placards in.
Yeah.
In fact, I think before that it was Coke,
Yeah,
and then all we did was change the placards.
so I mean, there's no chance that they're gonna come back and say, no, I want my scoreboard back.
Pepsi's out of that, and they stopped doing vending machines, it's all independent vendors.
I think we're rounding third and heading towards home. There's a possibility of another donation of a mat, this time for the BOR. Matt Flaherty, who obviously is missing today, but through the work of Bob McLeod and his past association with Union Mutual over in Montpelier. If you've been in the auditorium, there are 5 mats that really put a little shine to walking into the auditorium. And we hope to bring that same shine over to the BOR. That's a $2,200 to a $2,400 gift that's going to come about. We just barely sent a letter off, or Bob sent a letter off a couple, 3 days ago. But they came to us asking, is there a possibility you may want another mat? So, you know, piece here, piece there, all makes a difference. This is basically the slow time of the year. But we're catching up and have everything back on, you know, right at the starting gate here in another week, 2 weeks at the most. That's it.
Okay, any questions? Jim? Okay. So,
Can I
Go
just
ahead.
jump in, just to let the folks know that we've been locked down our teams. As far as basketball goes, we got some new additions, new teams coming into the auditorium for winter time like that, but. And so we're. You know, if you want.
Yeah, I will. We, with Bernie's help, again, Bob McLeod, a couple other recreates here in town, we have that winter solstice that's getting bigger and better every year. we've made a couple of changes, coming in, January of this year. Montpelier is, no longer part of that program, nor is People's Academy over in Morrisville. Taking their place, at Union 32, which will bring a pretty nice crowd, as well as the Memorial Union High School in Hyde Park. Those games are scheduled for a Friday night, Saturday, just like we've done the last 2 or 3 years. It's like January 7th and 8th, or 8th and 9th. We're working with the women's coach at Mount Mansfield, who are the D1 champions, current champions, state championship in basketball. We met with that gentleman, Bernie and I, and Cloudy went down to Burlington, met with him a couple of weeks ago. He's anxious to come back, and he's looking to see if he might be able to get St. Johnsbury Academy to come in for that girls and boys matches. Still waiting on, keeping fingers crossed, but with what we're talking about here with renovations and so forth, that we might possibly still be able to host this gig that Norwich University does every 4 years. They want to come here and do it with Castleton School up in Maine and the school over in New England College. Not gonna be many persons coming as far as fans are, but I think we can do better as far as cost and so on and so forth. It's interesting. I mean, I was down a couple, 3 nights ago picking up a pizza at Domino's, and there's a guy standing in front of me. He had some logo on his back. And I asked him what it was, and he's a member of a country band. I just said to him, if we get 2 or 3 country bands and brought them into the auditorium, do you think that might possibly be a well attended event? He said, absolutely. I asked him for a business card. He didn't have one. So, just keep milking the cow and hope that we get cream and have people want to do more and more here in the building. So nothing ventured, nothing lost.
There's an old guy talk. Yeah, there's an old guy.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
And you know what? Basically though, you know what it is? It's fun. It really is fun. I haven't given up. And this has such potential. And I sound like a broken record. I don't know how it will get pulled off. It will need some serious help. But a tattoo convention in here next summer, I guarantee, will be the largest event revenue-wise that the auditorium has ever had. And that includes the VPA coming here in March. I mean, the potential for dollars, it's unbelievable. And when I see people with tattoos, say, if we did it, would you come up? You know how many no's I got? 0. They said, absolutely. And you're talking about charging you can charge 500 to 1,000 for just the artist to come in. Well, you can put 20 of them in upstairs and downstairs. And then at the gate, you can charge $20 a person coming into the gate. And if 200 people come in, I mean, just do the math and the numbers just floating down more and more in black. It could be the biggest event financially we've ever done since I've been here.
Well, there's a new tattoo place.
Pardon me?
Somebody just moved from Montpelier to Barre.
Yeah, there's 5 tattoo artists just in Barre.
Well, I noticed this one because it's a former student, but. Yeah, I mean, you haven't talked to him.
Yeah, well, I've talked to so many, Paul.
Yeah, I
I
know.
can't remember who I have and haven't, but, it's way on the back burner.
Yeah.
But hopefully a year from right now, we're gonna be talking about something pretty serious.
Yeah. His last name is Book.
Interesting.
Well, yeah, he just moved a place in the Barre up above Wayne.
I did talk to the guy up above Nelson Jackremo's office is down on Main Street. The problem with, there is one curveball that you gotta make sure that each and every one of those tattoo artists are licensed and insured. So it's not gonna be a picnic, but it will be. It has great potential, great potential. And the last piece. Just a minute and then I'll finish here, sorry. Every March, they have an all-star game for graduating seniors in basketball. And for years, it's been held down at Windsor High School. That is a sellout event. It's on a Saturday or Sunday. And athletes from Bennington to Newport, graduating seniors, have participated in that. The gentleman who has run it is a longtime coach out of Mount Anthony. Dave Frederickson is his name. He's retired. There's Mark Paff, who's the women's coach at Mount Mansfield, working with Bernie, Cloudy, and I. He's trying his best to see if that might, people are a little concerned and do a little complaining up here to have to drive to Windsor. So maybe a fine, a fine solution to that might be to switch it north and south, or, alternate north and south. Have it at Windsor High School, have it at the Barre Auditorium. That could be another nice event, bringing a lot of people into town and in the auditorium. So keep plugging away.
You mentioned this tattoo convention in the summertime. I mean, and I'm thinking of the heat pumps. Is there any guess about renting the facility, whomever, whatever, whether it's athletic or whatever, that we can extend the rental season into the summer and start earlier in the fall because of the heat pumps? I mean, is it like
Yeah.
a month or?
Yeah, that was the whole deal, is we can get it cooling. Because one of the major complaints is the building gets hot in the summer.
But I mean,
We'll be able to cool it down and
he's talking about something, and I don't know if you're thinking of the middle of summer, but if you are, and you got 1,000 people in the building, like
1,000 people, the heat pump should work. Keep it cool.
in the middle of the summer.
Listen, it's not designed to, 1,800 people like we have for the tournament.
Uh-huh.
If we had an event like that in the summer, it would still get hot. But I did hear about 1,000 people. It should keep it cooler, comfortable.
Okay, good.
Anything else for Jim? Or you got anything else? Okay, sure. Sure. There's always something. Okay, so staff report, Tom?
Okay, yeah, so my notes.
Yep.
I apologize, I left them down on the desk. I was trying to get the AV up and running. We're doing the final 4 rooftop units down at the public safety building. That contract was awarded last week, and that should be in July or August, the work will be completed. They're up at the pool, getting that up and running. Had to do some little concrete repairs, caulking repairs in the pool. They're working on that.
So that we have opening day on June 26th for the
26 is what we're looking for.
We got it staffed and
She's
working on it.
hitting that moving target best she can. They're mostly high school kids, and they're still doing some kid stuff. So she gets one, another one says, "Oh, I can't make it. I can't work on Saturdays," or "I don't want to work on this."
Yes.
I want to work Monday through Friday, like 10 to 2. So Michelle's working very hard on getting that staff.
That's been a difficult problem for 100 years.
The pool director for the summer had painted the interior of the pool house. Nicholas donated a foosball table for down there. So we'll have some stuff to do to get people out of the sun on some hot days or rainy days. This past weekend, we had the Witches Market next door. Fantastic event. They had 1,000 pre-sale tickets for Saturday and 500 pre-sale tickets for Sunday. That doesn't include the people who just walked up and. Yep, and they have already booked again for next year.
Great. Was the rug in there or not?
The rug will not be down for that. Hopefully we can talk them into going over to our new space over here, but they are ecstatic with this layout. There's plenty of room, they could spread out.
I didn't make it down to see that one, but I was kind of interested to see what was happening at that.
Michelle got pictures and the floor was full.
Yeah.
Took some pictures from up top and the floor was full. 46 vendors.
Wow.
Yeah, it's. Looking at that,
Yep, great.
we're gonna be replacing the brine pump after July 1st.
Okay.
And that will chew up my entire building budget.
Yeah.
So,
You had on here, the new floor number came in, so 1.5.
yes, 1.5. That does not include, the amount of commercial refrigeration, draining the floor and refilling the floor, just some labor numbers for there.
So that's the floor and the VOR. And all the pipes underneath.
That's taking the boards off, ripping up the floor, new pipes, new concrete, re-put it, reinstalling the boards, and ice ready to skate.
After put this floor, can you just go up with a skim coated and build on top of what's there? There's raised
I don't-
rain, but
I suppose you could.
get rid of all the demo work. Yeah, I don't know what that portion is, but.
I suppose you could.
Right, boards would be up, you know, they wouldn't care.
The airport is 6 inches higher.
Right. Right.
Suppose you could. I haven't dug that deep into that.
Yeah.
That's more just a.
Yeah.
Placeholder idea number.
So is this planning to do this year?
What, the floor?
Yeah,
No. 1.5 million?
be a little tight there, wouldn't it?
Yeah. No, they said that's just a number to put out there.
Yep. Right,
Just start with
the problem with that is we got the tubes are cracked and they're plastic, they're
The tubes
repaired.
are-
There's not much more that you can go in to repair.
Right, we could be looking at having to do some repairs. But that's why I'm putting this number out there now, so we start planning.
Right.
We don't get,
So the cracked pipes are all on the end where the header is,
yes,
I mean, and into the floor, whatever, what are 2 or 3 or?
the pipes?
Yeah.
The pipes run the whole length of the floor.
No, but I mean, the ones that are cracking, are they just on the ends? And
There's the exposed piece
Oh, okay,
that comes out of the floor to the header.
okay,
And every time we put a coupling in there, it's splits it a little bit. So then you gotta take it, cut it off, put a bigger splice in.
so it wouldn't do any good to dig up a foot or 2 or 3 or whatever into the floor,
Then you could,
but.
where do you stop?
Well,
Well,
oh.
you have to dig till you find new, good pipe.
Yeah,
You could take the whole thing out. It could all be doing the same thing. Once it gets disturbed,
yeah, oh, yeah,
it sits there, it's fine. You disturb it.
Yeah.
Now it splits, and you gotta start. It's just gonna domino.
It's 50+ years old, so you're gonna be chasing leaks continuously. Yeah.
You're trying to,
Either Carnes or the other one up in Burlington replaced their whole floor 2 years ago. And, you know, it's what happens, it ages and
we were,
was it Letty?
it was Letty.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for,
Cause that's older than this building, but.
for reference,
Yeah.
we replaced the floor over at Kreisberg Arena after 20,
After
basically for the same as
20 years?
20 years. So we got our money's worth out of that floor.
I like her idea about going up.
That was brought up as well as a possibility. But this is a worst case number.
Yeah.
You know,
Any plans on addressing that in the next year, 2, 3, 4? I mean.
that's why I'm putting it out there. And we got the, that we need to consider that $550,000. So we're now at $2 million. And you see no difference. Do we wanna tackle that elephant of what do we do with that building?
Yeah, that would.
And I'm bring that to you so you can,
Cause you still got a roof that needs to be done.
yeah,
too.
that's,
Yeah.
On the-
That's what fits in the roof. and a
that's for
floor.
next FY 27. I'm expecting 550 to between replacing the membrane, the insulation and deck repair.
There's still some decking in there that's gonna need to be replaced.
Yeah. And that's 550 is gonna be on the low, my guess is gonna be on the low side. So,
That's in the budget.
discussion though. What's that?
That's gonna be in the budget.
That is in the capital improvement plan for next fiscal year. To replace the roof.
So that is moving forward.
That would,
budget.
right, I just wanna bring this up, so. Do we do that, knowing we got a whole bunch of other issues?
Well, the city would use the building, no matter what happens, the city's gonna use the building, so you gotta. The roof on.
Right.
Yes. For what they use it for, if we can't use it in a hockey night.
How many square feet is that building roughly?
That, I'm not sure off the top of my head, the ice is not 90 by 200
The rink itself is
or
80 by 120,
no,
80 by 200,
200.
the rink itself. Somewhere I had a diagram in my file cabinet.
I
It had all-
got it downstairs somewhere. My guess is probably looking at 80. What is it, 100 by 120 feet wide,
Yeah,
by probably
yeah, you've got a good,
close to
you've got a
300.
good 20 feet at least on each end of the mound.
Yeah.
And then. on the
It's
ends-
probably 300 feet long.
Yeah,
30,000 square feet.
Yeah.
300 by what, roughly?
I would go 250. Do you think be close to
yeah.
250 wide by
Especially
at
as
least
it's
300,
Back,
by at least 300.
yeah.
So, I mean, that's 75,000 square feet, give or take. I mean. How much costs a square foot for construction?
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean, the idea I was throwing around is get a metal building. Get a metal building. We can put it out in this parking lot out here. Put a brick fascia on it. So it kind of mirrors the auditorium. You only have brick the front, the rest of it, all metal.
I took your figure, metal or whatever, times $100 a square foot, which I'm sure is very low. And that's $7.5 million. That's just for the building, doesn't count. Piping underneath,
Right.
you know, and compressors, if you put new ones in and so on and so forth.
We could probably bring the compressors over.
Well, I mean, those are as old as the building.
Yeah, but
And then
I'm hearing they're like the best ones in the state.
I'm sure they've been maintained, you know,
Been
pretty
very
well.
well maintained.
Yeah.
We had the same company from
Yeah.
year one when they
Yeah.
went in.
I've often said why they don't change the motor on to a more energy efficient motor, but anyways, but I'm just saying. $7.5 million is a way low probably for a metal building or anything. And so when you talk about putting 2 million or whatever into the existing building. To replace that building,
Yeah.
I'd say 7.5, probably more like 10 or more. You know,
But remember, all right, when you replace it,
yeah,
you can put in. Adequate locker rooms,
yeah.
adequate bathrooms,
Yeah.
nice concession stand.
Yep.
This building, while it's historic, is basically. 6 different buildings added onto each other.
Yeah.
You know, it's,
But my point is that But where in the world is the city gonna come up with 10 or more million dollars?
Yeah.
You know, and people talk about getting the town and outlying areas and outlying areas, you're competing with the one in Montpelier, you're competing with the one in Waterbury, and I mean, it just.
Well, Waterbury and Montpelier are both privately owned.
Yeah.
This one.
I mean,
That's owned by some, still Central Vermont Skating or whatever they call it.
yeah,
I don't know if Dr. Butch is still a chair.
But that was.
No, that's one
No,
guy.
it's private.
and somehow those are all privately run and they pay for the cost of the building from way back, the mortgage or whatever. And they're still in business. I mean,
They're making money. We hope they're making.
no, I mean, they're not losing money.
But that's also why Montpelier kicks U32 hockey out at the end of the,
Yeah.
end of February.
Yeah, because they
They
can,
got an agreement with Capital Soccer that
yeah,
they're in there March first.
yeah. I mean, they can make more money on soccer than they can on ice, so on and so forth.
Your overhead is next to nothing.
But my point is, where the hell is the city gonna come up with 10 million or whatever the figure's gonna be?
Art Desville Memorial. Fund.
Yeah, right.
But,
That'd be a little light.
So that's just enough.
Leave it in your state. Yeah, that's gonna be a little light.
it's coming up and it's kind of.
My kids already know. Don't expect anything with their mother, her mother and I are
Ugly discussion.
taking care of everything, it's gone.
Yes, every discussion with the hockey crowd took the weekends for your outing.
Anytime it comes up on the agenda,
Yes.
the building's.
Yes,
passed out.
yes, and then a couple of
I
those.
gotta do some. Here, anyway, I want some.
All right, anything else for Tom?
Sign back working or?
The sign, we've got the power working on it. There's something with the communication. It was advertising the blood drive that was wrong and Michelle couldn't update it. So we're reaching out to Daktronics, hoping it's a software issue. Then if that doesn't work, we'll get Vermont Display to come up and see if it's something with the hardware at the sign. Okay, hopefully it's software.
Yep, that's the big one. That sign's very valuable. So. Jim?
Is there any updating on the Coyotes? Are they coming back?
They we're reworking the contract with them. New contract for next year with them. We have dates on hold until the new contract is settled and the old one is done.
Right. Great.
But the plans are for December 5th opening day.
Have they paid up full from previous?
They owe $958.
That's like nothing.
See, this, you know, personally, for me, we shouldn't be cutting them any friggin' deals. Everybody else that rents that place pays the full rate. BYSA, the basket of the high school tournaments, these guys are coming in here and paying. They get they pay 70% of the $70 per hour fee. They don't pay the $15.50 fee. They're getting a special deal, which I think is wrong. For a professional team making money, they should be paying full rate.
I know it was to try to help them get going, to build a following, to start this. Hopefully it turns into a long time, full-time deal. The new contract will not be as generous to them as the last one was. And the plan is to get them to that point. Hopefully they stick around and can be a profitable partnership.
Whose decision is that? Sounds like it's not city.
It didn't come to the council. The manager did it on his own.
So new manager will change things around. So. See who that is.
I mean, they don't draw. I know people, Barry's been to games where there's been less than 100 people there. That's my thoughts. I think if everybody else pays full rate, they should be.
Yeah, I've always been concerned about giving special rates. That's come up many times. over the
Yeah,
years.
remember back years ago, we've always had a big debate about that.
It's very difficult because. If you pay, if they get a deal, well, when does BYSA come in and say, I want my deal or? Ball hockey.
BYSA does a lot more for the youth in this area than the Coyotes.
Right. So slippery slope, okay, anyone got anything else? Okay, then we can adjourn.
What you mean? I'd be interested in piece of that.
My daughter does a big bet.